Some disappearances happen in the middle of nowhere. Remote roads, empty fields, places where no one is watching. But what happens when someone vanishes in the middle of a crowd, under security cameras, surrounded by hundreds of people, in one of the busiest bars in a major American city on one of the wildest nights of the year? That's not just a mystery, that's something else entirely. Tonight we're going back to Columbus, Ohio, March 31st, 2006, and we're following the last known steps of a 27-year-old medical student named Brian Shaffer, a young man who walked into a bar and was never seen again. Not one witness, not one credible lead, not one answer. Just silence.
Brian Shaffer grew up in a small town in Ohio. By most accounts, he was the kind of guy people genuinely liked. Friendly, funny, the type who remembered your name after meeting you once. He was studying medicine at Ohio State University, a path that takes serious dedication. But the months leading up to his disappearance had been difficult. Just weeks earlier, Brian had lost his mother to cancer. His friends later said he had been processing that loss quietly, the way a lot of young men do. On the outside, he seemed okay, but underneath, who really knows what was going on? He had a girlfriend, Alexis Wagoner, also a medical student. They were serious, talking about the future, planning things. By all appearances, this was not a man who had any intention of walking away from his life. And yet, spring break in Columbus, 2006. Thousands of college students packed into bars and streets that were never designed to hold that many people at once. Music pumping, drinks flowing. Strangers becoming temporary best friends for one night. Brian went out that evening with two friends, Clint Florence and Meredith Reed. They started the night at a place called the Ugly Tuna Saloon on High Street. At around 1:55 in the morning, security cameras captured Brian clearly. He was near the entrance, talking to two women he didn't know. He was smiling, relaxed. Nothing about his body language suggested fear or distress. Then he steps toward the entrance of the bar, and the cameras stop seeing him. Just like that. Gone.
When Brian didn't show up the next day, or the day after, concern turned to alarm. Columbus police launched an investigation and started with the security footage. Investigators went through the footage frame by frame. They matched faces to people. They tracked every movement. They accounted for nearly every single patron who passed through those doors. Nearly every single one. Because there was one person the cameras captured going in, but never captured going out. Brian Shaffer entered the bar, that is confirmed, but according to every available camera angle, he never left through the front entrance. Not once, not at any point during the night. So where did he go? Theory 1. The bar was undergoing construction work. Temporary walls, openings not part of the normal layout. Some investigators believe Brian may have slipped out through a construction exit not covered by cameras. In a crowded, chaotic bar on a spring break night, a person moving through an unfamiliar part of the building might not draw a second glance. Theory 2. Brian chose to disappear. He had been through a lot: the loss of his mother, the pressure of medical school. Some people who reach a certain point of emotional exhaustion make a decision to simply walk away from everything. It happens more than people realize, but those who knew Brian find this deeply inconsistent with who he was. Theory 3. Foul play. That something happened to Brian inside or just outside that bar. That he encountered someone and things went wrong. Extensive searches were conducted. Divers checked local waterways. Nothing was found. that doesn't mean nothing happened. It means if something happened, it was hidden very effectively. Theory 4. A mental health crisis. Brian had recently lost his mother. Grief, combined with stress and possibly alcohol, can trigger severe psychological episodes. Is it possible Brian left the bar in a profound emotional distress, wandered somewhere alone, and suffered an accident? Ohio nights in late March are cold. A person disoriented and alone could get into serious trouble. Behind every mystery like this, there are real people living with unimaginable uncertainty. Brian's father, Randy Shaffer, spent years searching for answers. He never stopped believing the truth was out there. He publicly appealed for information. He kept Brian's memory alive. Randy passed away in 2008, 2 years after his son vanished, never having received any answers. He lost his wife and his son within the same span of time. Brian's case is still officially open. He has never been declared legally dead. In the eyes of the law, he simply remains missing. March 31st, 2006, Columbus, Ohio. A 27-year-old walks into a bar on the busiest night of the year. He's seen on camera. He's talking to people. He's smiling. And then he steps out of frame, and he's gone. No body, no confession, no definitive answer, no closure for the people who loved him. Brian Shaffer would be in his mid-40s now. He'd likely be a doctor, maybe married, maybe with kids who would have no idea that their father was once a young man who went out on a spring break night and never came home. Somewhere in the gap between 1:55 a.m. and the moment the cameras lost him, there is an answer. And until that answer is found, Brian Shaffer remains exactly where the cameras left him, frozen, mid-step, stepping out of the frame and into a mystery that has never let go.